Finally, football is back. We got the NFL preseason starting tomorrow. We got the Lions versus the Cincinnati Bengals, 7 o'clock. Check it out. But yeah, finally, NFL football is back. But then on the flip side of that, the Lions and these damn injuries are back as well. I mean, we got to start guys' time today talking about the Cade Mays injury, a significant injury that occurred Monday. It was first reported in the morning, but here we go again, right? The Lions versus the injuries. So welcome to guys' time today. The Bryce is here, Zach Bryce. We got to talk about Cade Mays, this injury. It's a huge blow to this Lions team, especially that offensive line. I mean, this was one of the pinpoints for this season. We needed offensive line help, some center help. We got Cade Mays, signed him to a deal, and now he's hurt. So now he has an injured wrist, small bone fracture in his wrist. He's going to be out 8 to 10 weeks. I mean, can this team get a break? Obviously not. Here we are. We're losing one of our biggest assets on this team, our center, which this is a position that we definitely need to help out with the offensive line so that we can get the running game going, the passing game going, so we have success in these games. But now Cade Mays is going to be out 8 to 10 weeks. Guys, this is a franchise that, I don't know, they're right there, but then somehow, some way, there's always a setback. There's always something going on with this team. I mean, we've been dealing with it for a few years now. Last year, this team was destroyed by injuries. A few years ago, destroyed by injuries. And here we go again. The preseason hasn't even started. The NFL regular season hasn't even started. And now we got Cade Mays on the shelf. So yeah, 8 to 10 weeks he's going to be out. Wrist injury. But like I said, here we go again. It's the fight between the Detroit Lions and injuries. And I know a lot of you out there are saying, well, Zach, the Lions are not the only team dealing with injuries. And you know what? You're absolutely right. I agree with that, and I know that for a fact. There's 31 other teams in the NFL, and they're all dealing with injuries. I get that. But, I mean, it's the Detroit Lions, man. This is a team that's been through hell for over 60 years. Give us a break. Please. Come on. Now we got to deal with this. So I don't know, man. It's just one of those situations where, I read this, and I mentioned it on one of my videos on Instagram a couple days ago. I looked at it, and I laughed, because it's just like, here we go again. And it's like, am I surprised at this point? I mean, the NFL preseason starts tomorrow, and now we already have a major injury for this team. And the regular season doesn't start for another month. And here we are. Here we are, and it's crazy. It's just unbelievable. But that's the Lions' luck, right? The injuries, just bad luck. Cade Mays, need a center. He's a good center, and now he's going to be out for most of the season. So, as many of you remember, we signed him to a 3-year, $25 million contract in March before the NFL draft, may I remind you. And it replaces Frank Ragnow. He retired a couple of years ago. We tried to bring him back last year because we had so many problems at center. Graham Glasgow was not getting the job done. We'll get through the stats in a little bit. But, yeah, Frank Ragnow, one of the best centers Lions ever had. He retires. We try to bring him back, and he fails his physical because he tore up his hamstring. So that didn't work out well. So now it's like, okay, maybe we should either draft a center, crazy, right? Or maybe we should get a center in free agency. And we got Cade Mays. Well, that doesn't look too good right now because he's going to be out for 8 to 10 weeks with the damn wrist injury. So Graham Glasgow, going back to him. So him being a center last year, not the greatest, man. It was not good. It was hard to watch at times. But according to Pro Football Focus, just running the numbers here, 56.8 overall PFF grade, which is 33rd out of 40 eligible centers. So, yeah, that's not good. 61.3 pass blocking grade, 54.3 run block grade. Allowed 19 pressures, and 8 of them were quarterback hits. I mean, Graham Glasgow, yeah, he probably should just stay being a guard instead of the center. It just didn't work out, right? But then you go out and get Cade Mays, which that was a position that you needed to address, and now he's going to be out. So who's going to replace him? Who's going to replace Cade Mays now? Who's going to be our damn center? Well, there's a few options, right? I mean, you got Seth McLaughlin from Ohio State. But then, they're reporting that, he had a history of snapping difficulties at Ohio State and Alabama, where he was before. So I said numerous times here on Guys Time, I said in my videos, the key to the Lions' success this season is the old offensive line dominance. You have to have a great offensive line. Without the great offensive line, Jahmyr Gibbs can't make those runs and score touchdowns. You can't give Jared Goff enough time to make those passes to St. Brown and J-Mo and, Tesla, right? I mean, the Lions' offensive line is going to be very important this upcoming season. And then, we can talk about the defense, the secondary right now. That looks absolutely horrible. I mean, complete garbage, right? Because Kirby Joseph, who knows if he's going to play this year. Brian Branch, damn well he's not going to play till towards the end of the year, it seems like. And coming back from a torn Achilles, that's tough. That's tough. And I know he's still young, but he's on his feet a lot and he plays a very tough position. So our secondary is trashed right now. And, linebackers, you got to find someone to replace Alex Anzalone. He's with, he left us now. You got Malcolm Rodriguez, another Lions player who's hurt, right? I mean, I just don't know. It's the Detroit Lions, right? But you see this injury and you're just like, well, damn. Here we go again. So, yeah, K-Made's on the shelf. 8 to 10 weeks. It's not even preseason. The regular season even started. But, you got the Lions tomorrow against the Bengals, 7 o'clock. First preseason game. Football's back. Yay! Aren't we excited about that? Yeah, I guess in a way it is pretty exciting. So you have that going on. But on the flip side, some positive Detroit Lions news. Last week, Jahmyr Gibbs signed an extension, became the highest paid running back in NFL history. I mean, obviously, right? You saw Bijan Robinson for the Falcons getting paid. You got Jonathan Taylor from the Colts getting paid. It was only a matter of time before Jahmyr Gibbs got his bag. So, yeah, he signed a 3-year, $67.5 million extension. Could be worth up to $75.75 million. So he's the highest paid running back in NFL history. So good for him, right? I mean, top 3 running back. Been killing it ever since he came in the league. And I said it, when we drafted him a few years ago, I was not a fan. And I will sit here and I will admit to that. Now I will take that in. I will eat that. I was not a fan of the Lions drafting Jahmyr Gibbs in the 2021 NFL draft. Yeah, it is what it is. But now he's proven me wrong, right? Like I said, he's a top 3 running back, and he deserves this money. He deserves every single cent of this money. So good for him. But then other running backs, as I mentioned, Bijan Robinson signed a 3-year worth up to a $75 million contract earlier last week. And then Jonathan Taylor, a couple days later, 2-year, $44 million contract extension with the Colts. But yeah, he got his bag. Good for him. Right? I mean, about damn time. And we knew it was going to happen, right? Like I said, you saw Bijan Robinson getting paid. You got Jonathan Taylor getting paid. So it was only a matter of time before Jahmyr Gibbs got paid. So good for him. So his stats last year. 1,223 rushing yards on 243 carries. He had 13 rushing touchdowns. But not only is he a threat in the running game, but in the passing game, he's pretty damn good at that too. 77 receptions, 616 yards, and 5 touchdowns. All these stats are according to ESPN.com. I mean, he killed it last year. He was so fun to watch. I mean, unbelievable, exciting. Major, reason why we, won games last year was behind him. His workload. And obviously much is going to be expected of him this year. I mean, he's going to be the horse. He's going to be the guy. And, I really hope he stays healthy. That's going to be tough because he's going to be the workhorse. And, with running backs, they're getting hit every play. It's a lot. And, he's a tough dude, but we're human beings, man. We're not invincible. So I'm just really hoping he stays healthy, but I'm glad we got the extension done before the preseason, before the regular season. but it was only a matter of time, right? But yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs signed the extension, 3-year extension, $67.5 million, could be worth up to $75.75 million contract, which makes him the highest paid running back in NFL history. And then he was top 10 in rushing yards last year, again from ESPN. He was listed 7, and 2 names right above him, Bijan Robinson and Jonathan Taylor. So it makes sense that all 3 of these running backs got extensions, right? And he fumbled twice, and he only lost 1, man. So he's reliable, right? Like, he can protect the ball. But now, you're the workhorse. I mean, a lot of snaps, you're going to carry it. So hopefully they use him right. Hopefully they don't use him to the point where he's exhausted and getting broken down. But a lot's going to be expected of Jahmyr Gibbs, in my opinion. I mean, why else do you get an extension and become the highest paid running back, and you're one of our stars of this team? Major, probably the best offensive player, right? Maybe even the best player on this team. So a lot's going to be expected of him. I really hope he stays healthy, but he got the extension. He got what he needed, so good for him. So yeah, positive notes from the Detroit Lions. Jahmyr Gibbs gets his bag. He signs the extension. But then, obviously, you got the bad news with Cade Mays, center that we signed from the Carolina Panthers back in March. He's going to be out 8 to 10 weeks with a wrist injury. So that's unfortunate. But tomorrow, guys, NFL is back. Lions, Bengals, 7 o'clock. Check it out. Go Lions. We'll see what happens, man. It's preseason. I'll probably watch a couple clips, a couple of snaps here and there, but we'll see. But yeah, they got the Bengals tomorrow on the road. So NFL's back. Crazy enough, right? I mean, here we are, August, and now we're going to be talking a lot about football. You notice how in the summer we touched a little bit about football. We've been talking about baseball, UFC, and boxing, and hockey a little bit. All the other sports, yeah, basketball, yeah, well, here we are. I mean, it's that time of year again. So check out Lions and Bengals tomorrow, 7 o'clock. The NFL is officially back. So now we got to hop over to these Detroit Tigers. We got to talk about baseball here a little bit. 59-60 record for these Detroit Tigers. So 3.5 games back from the AL Central, 1.5 games out from the wild card. A great victory last night at home against the Cleveland Guardians, an AL Central rival. So, yeah, I mean, this is what we needed. This is what the Tigers need to do. This is the month where they have to play their asses off. They got to win games. They got to win games and stay in the hunt. Easier said than done, right? But this is the time where you have to play your best baseball. And you got to win games. They're on this homestand. It looks like a 6-game homestand. 3 games with the Cleveland Guardians. 3 games with the Chicago White Sox, the first place Chicago White Sox in the AL Central. I mean, we got to win 4 or 5 out of those games, right, on the homestand, because then we got to go to Pittsburgh, we got to go to Kansas City, we got to come back home to Tampa Bay, and then we got to play the Los Angeles Dodgers. So it doesn't get any easier from here. But the Dodgers are kind of struggling a little bit, and maybe, Tarik Skubal goes to the Dodgers and they start playing like crap. Ooh, yeah, let's dive into that a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to waste your guys' time. It's baseball. It's sports. It's going to happen. Every good team's going to struggle at any moment during the season. Late in the season, middle of the season, before or after the All-Star break. It's the Dodgers, man. Yeah, don't worry. They'll figure it out. They got the payroll to get another guy, another batter or pitcher. They'll figure it out. I'm not too worried about it. But, yeah, I mean, these next few games for the Tigers, man, not easy. Not easy, and especially when every team's trying to make it into the playoffs this late into the season, including the Tigers. I mean, you got to win when you can. So you have that going on. But the road, they just came back from a road series. They were 7-2 on the road. They swept the Athletics. They won 2 out of 3 against the Mariners, and they won 2 out of 3 against the Giants. So good for the Tigers. I mean, those are the games you need to win. Away from Comerica Park and on the road, 7-2 record, I will take that. But now this homestand's really important. Like I said, you got to win tonight, 6:40 start time, so a little over 40 minutes from here. You got to win that game against Cleveland, and then you got to win tomorrow afternoon. Try to sweep the Guardians, and then you got the Chicago White Sox coming into town. Like I said, first place team in the AL Central. You got to try to handle your business there. You got Valdez starting tonight, so we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, they won 6-4 last night. Got a little interesting there. I saw some highlights. Our bullpen, gotta step it up, man. That's part of my notes here. The bullpen needs to step up. They gotta, help this team out, help your starters, because that's been kind of a downfall for this Detroit Tigers team for most of the season. Just the bullpen just gives up, too many runs, and they blow too many games, and you can't do that. Bullpen's here to relieve. This bullpen's here to shut it down, and we struggled in that department. So this is where the bullpen needs to really wake up. These next few weeks, this next month rather, the bullpen needs to be playing their best baseball ever. And then on top of that, you got Dylan Dingler and Kevin McGonigal. Those guys stay hot, we'll be just fine. So yeah, Tigers, man. Exciting to watch. Obviously the month of May was horrible, but since then, not too bad. There's a couple games where they should have won here and there, but like I said, new month. We're going to August 12th. It's August 12th today, and they're on a 3-game winning streak. They got to win tonight, and like I said, that bullpen needs to wake up, and they got to play their best baseball right now. So you got the Tigers tonight, 6:40 against the Cleveland Guardians. Game 2 of the series. You got Game 3 tomorrow to wrap up that series, and then this weekend, the White Sox are in town for a 3-game series. Jackson Jobe back into the starting rotation. He's going to make that first start against Chicago on Friday night. And then you got Melton, and then Anderson's going to make the start for the Tigers. Yeah, it's crazy not to see Skubal as a starter anymore, but obviously, he's with the Dodgers. So let's go, Tigers. Eat them up, I guess. Let's take this victory tonight and then try to win tomorrow. So yeah, that's the Tigers. They're waking up, man. They're finally playing baseball, and they're winning games when it matters most. So that's the Tigers for you. We got to hop over to UFC 330 because, guys, it's another fight night. This weekend, we got UFC 330. Takes place in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We got, again, 2 title fights. You just got to love the 2 title fight cards, right? So 2 title fights on this card. About time we got a major fight card from the UFC. We got the welterweight championship is going to be defended in the main event, 5-round fight. You got Islam Makhachev, the welterweight champion, defending his title against Ian Machado Gary. Guys, this actually might be interesting. Obviously, Islam Makhachev is going to go for the grappling. He's a grappler in this fight. So I'm really wondering how Ian Machado Gary is going to defend those takedowns, like his takedown defense. Is he going to be able to stop Islam from taking him to the ground? That's going to be the main focus there. But it's the main event. Islam comes in with a 28-1-0 record. 13 wins by submission, so he's going to go for the submission early on in this fight. Grappling specialist, as I mentioned. He's on a 16-fight winning streak, guys. This guy hasn't lost in a few years. He made his debut at welterweight last November. He beat Jack Della Maddalena at UFC 322 to become the UFC welterweight champion after he dominated the lightweight division for many years. Beat Volkanovski twice. For the belt. He beat Charles Oliveira, Dustin Poirier, so big names, right? Great fighters. He didn't fight, scrubs. Those are legit top-tier fighters. And so he decided to move up in weight because he was a big lightweight. He was big at 155, so what's the next step, right? You move up to 170, and now he's defending the title for the first time at 170 at welterweight, going up against Ian Machado Gary. And Ian Machado Gary, obviously, he's been a welterweight. He's comfortable at 170. He's had a lot of fights at this weight, so maybe that's where Islam might be at a disadvantage. He fought Jack Della Maddalena first time, making his welterweight debut, winning the championship. But Ian Machado Gary's got the experience at that weight. So we'll see what happens with that, but Islam Makhachev, man, that guy is that's gonna be a tough one to go against him if you guys are betting this weekend. I might, so be on the lookout for that. We'll see if the prize feels lucky. to bet on this fight. But yeah, Ian Machado Gary, the contender, the challenger, 17-1 record. He comes into this fight. He's beaten Carlos Prates, Belal Muhammad in the last 2 fights, so big names there. You know, he's got a lot of unanimous decision wins. I mean, it's a win nonetheless, right? I mean, you'll take a win, especially in the UFC. You know, that's the top tier MMA promotion in the world. But not a lot of finishes, man. And I think this is where Ian Machado Gary has to find a way to finish Islam Makhachev and defend those takedowns. Easier said than done, man. I mean, is it possible? Yes. I mean, we've already seen it this year. I mean, let's go back to the UFC Freedom 250 event at the White House. A lot of people thought Gaethje was going to get absolutely destroyed by Ilia Topuria. No. It was more like the other way around. You've seen Topuria's face, right? Yeah. And Justin Gaethje, a human being, did that. Yeah. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty scary, too, what a human being can do. But Justin Gaethje defying all odds, once again, as the underdog. So there's, you know, this sport, anything can happen, right? But Ian Machado Gary, in my opinion, best chances for him to win, he's got to finish Islam Makhachev, and I don't think that's going to happen. But we'll see. But yeah, lots of unanimous decision victories, not a lot of finishes. His last finish was against Daniel Rodriguez, which was way back in 2023, so 3 years ago, last time he had a finish. But he's got to find a way to finish Islam. And I have it here, but yeah, he's got to find a way to finish Islam Makhachev. He's got to find a way to contend with the grappling, because you know Makhachev's going to do it. You know, he's going to go for the takedown. So I'm really curious how Ian Machado Gary's training for that, and we'll see if he actually incorporates that in this fight Saturday on Paramount Plus. 9 o'clock is where the main card starts. So that's your main event. Islam Makhachev, the UFC welterweight champion, defending his title for the very first time at 170, defending the title against Ian Machado Gary in the main event. 5-round title fight. It's going to be awesome. But hold on, that's not the only title fight going on this weekend at UFC 330. I said 2, right? I mean, you guys are listening, right? The women's strawweight title is on the line. That's your co-main event. So now we got the women going at it. You got Mackenzie Dern versus Jillian Robertson. Mackenzie Dern comes in with a 16-5 record, 8 victories by submission. You know, another grappler. I think she's going to try to submit Jillian Robertson, but then Jillian Robertson's got 9 victories with submission. So are we going to see a grappling game, or are these two women going to switch it up and maybe strike? You know, go from what they're used to. You know, shy away from the norm, right? Shy away from the original game plan and maybe strike in this fight. I mean, women's strawweight title. I mean, we like to see some hands being thrown. I mean, obviously, I don't want to get punched by them, but you know, this is a co-main event. You gotta set the tone, right? So these women come in. Going back to Mackenzie Dern, she won the title last October at UFC 321 against Verna Jandiroba. So that was her biggest victory of her career, without question. She became the women's strawweight champion as a result. But yeah, she's on a 3-fight winning streak as well. She's a grappler, so like I said, we're probably going to see some takedown attempts from Mackenzie Dern. Probably, as we're sitting here today, I mean, just knowing what kind of fighter she is. But as I mentioned a couple seconds ago, we could see a striking battle coming out from Mackenzie Dern. But then on the flip side, we got Jillian Robertson, the challenger, 17-8 record. She comes into this fight, 9 victories, as I mentioned earlier, by submission. She's on a 5-fight winning streak. She's got 2 finishes by KO, TKO, crazy enough. And then she last fought in March of 2026. So she's the fresher fighter. You know, those 2 knockouts, crazy enough, especially when you have the 9 victories by submission. So like I said, with this women's strawweight title fight between Mackenzie Dern and Jillian Robertson, are we going to see a grappling match? Are we going to see striking? Are we going to see both? I don't know. Just based on the stats, I mean, probably going to see a submission, you know, attempts, ground game from both women, but I don't know. You know, maybe they'll start throwing down and throwing some hands. You know, like I said, it's the UFC. Anything can happen, but we finally get a fight night back on Paramount Plus, UFC 330. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I mean, it's very significant there because obviously so many great fighters, not just from the UFC, but many boxers have come from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You got Rocky, one of the most iconic movies of all time. The 50th anniversary is this year. Yeah, 50 years since that movie came out, guys. 1976, celebrating the 50-year anniversary of the film Rocky coming out. Obviously, that was filmed in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, a lot of fight history. So it was great. It's good to have this event in the city of brotherly love. But yeah, check it out, guys. All you fight fans, it's going to be crazy. 2 title fights. Got the women's strawweight title in the co-main event. 5-round fight there. Mackenzie Dern, the champion, defending her title against Jillian Robertson. And then you got the welterweight championship on the line in the main event. Islam Makhachev, welterweight champion, defending the title for the very first time at this weight class, going up against Ian Machado Gary. This is going to be a good one. You got Edson Barboza on this card. Crazy enough, he's still fighting. I mean, dude, that guy's he's in his 40s, still going at it. Charles Robinson's on this card as well. So some big names. Some big names on this card. And then in the prelims, you got Jalen Turner fighting. Vicente Luque fighting at middleweight now. So, yeah, we got some big names, and I think it's going to be a good fight. But, yeah, like I said, another great fight night. UFC 330 coming back on Paramount Plus. Like I said, the main card starts at 9 o'clock. You got the prelims starting, I do believe, at 7, and then the early prelims start at 5:30. So, fight fans, place some bets. Watch UFC 330 this Saturday night. Paramount Plus, 9 o'clock main card. 2 title fights. Doesn't get any better than that. So, we have that going on. And we're going to wrap up this episode today. We got to talk about boxing now, women's boxing specifically. Savannah Tini, Macomb's own Savannah Tini. She's back in action. She's got a fight coming up in a couple weeks, August 29th, Saturday, at the Fox Theater right here in Detroit, Michigan. Get your tickets now. She's on Instagram Messenger. Look at her bio, her biography. There's a link there to get percentage off for your tickets. But yeah, 7-0 record. She's undefeated, just like Kamel is out in New Way Training Center from Clinton Township, Michigan. So shout out to that gym over there. But yeah, she's undefeated. It's going to be fun. Every time Savannah's competing or fighting, she puts on a great show. She's amazing. I mean, just a great technical fighter. I mean, she doesn't quit. She's not that tall. I mean, she's a small human being, but looks can be deceiving, man. I've seen her spar. I've seen her compete, obviously. She throws down, man. I mean, she's not afraid to throw some punches. She's not afraid to take some hits either. Tough woman. A very nice individual as well. I've seen her numerous times at New Way. I mean, she's just a great human being. But yeah, she's ready to throw down in a couple weeks. It's gonna be a fun night at the Fox. So get your tickets now. It's gonna be awesome. Undefeated, 7-0 record. Savannah Tini, New Way Training Center. She's making her presence known in women's boxing, guys. I mean, I'm telling you, dude, she is doing great things for women's boxing. And August 29th, she's gonna handle the business. So Savannah Tini back in action from New Way Training Center, August 29th, Saturday. Get your tickets. It's gonna be a good one. Fight night back in Detroit. Who doesn't love that, right? So go Savannah. Congratulations. Good luck. You're gonna take care of some business. So that's how we end today's episode. So thank you so much. As always, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned in my video, I will not be here to do an episode next week. I will be on vacation with my family in Higgins Lake, of all places. Never been there. I've heard it was amazing. It was beautiful. Many people say, you got to do this and that. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to enjoy myself. Not worry about work, not worry about guys' time. I might post some videos, maybe, but I'm going to enjoy myself. Have a mindset reset, as I mentioned to Kamel yesterday as we were training together. But yeah, mindset reset. Yeah, remember that one, right? And I'm going to trademark that so you guys don't take it from me. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I'm going to enjoy my vacation because, as you know, right here in Michigan, we have a very short summer, and dude, we're almost in fall. It's crazy, right? Crazy. I mean, this summer flew by, but we had fun here. We had fun on guys' time. And I'm trying to dish out as many episodes as I can. We're getting 200 before the year ends, before 2026 ends. I'm making my announcement right now tonight, August 12, 2026 at 6:08 p.m. as I'm looking on my computer screen. We are going to hit 200 episodes before 2026 ends. I mean, if I have to do 2 episodes in 1 week, damn it, we're going to do it. So I want to make sure you guys are on that. I mean, we're on like 177, I want to say, 176 after tonight's episode. We're getting there. So we're going to hit 200 this year before the year ends. 200 episodes of Guys Time. Been doing this for 6 years. Like I said, guys, you are amazing. You guys make this show what it is. I appreciate all the love and support from each and every one of you. So that's this episode. So thank you so much for joining me again. Like I said, you got UFC 330 going on this weekend, Saturday night, Paramount Plus, 9 o'clock. Main card starts. 2 title fights. Check that one out. Play some bets. You got NFL preseason officially starting tomorrow, guys. Crazy enough, football is back finally. You got the Lions and the Bengals going at 7 o'clock. Bunch of preseason games going on this weekend. You got the Tigers playing tonight, trying to make it to the playoffs, squeeze into the playoff spot. So you got that as well. And then Savanatini back in action for New Way Training Centers. You got a fight on August 29th. Get your tickets right now. The prize is definitely going to be there. And it's going to be a great night for Savanatini. So thank you so much for joining me again. You guys take care. It's Wednesday. Finish off this week as always. Check out this episode. You know the drill by now. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I'm going to have it out in a couple hours here. So check it out. Spread the word. Guys Time with the Bryce. We're having fun here. And now it's time to go. All right, take care, guys. Thank you for joining me today. You're amazing as usual. Have a great rest of the night. And as always, you already know what I'm going to say. Stay safe out there, my friends.